Luke Combs, back to Keep Us Company.
Yes.
You got new music coming, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. How have you been? I have not seen you in a while.
Gosh, yeah, I've been busy, I got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, almost 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So
yeah, I saw Tex just had a big third birthday party.
He did. Yep. It was very chaotic and very hot,
Yeah.
Nothing like a birthday in the middle of summer.
Did he have a nice time?
He did. He had a great time. He really enjoyed it, stayed up past bedtime, the whole 9 yards,
What are him and Bo into right now? Like, what are their things?
They're really into this. So Tex's first thing he was into was a YouTube show called Kid Crew. He's very, very into that. It's these two parents and their kid, and they just like do like fake construction stuff, and like he's way into that. But our current favorite is Trash Truck on Netflix. That's
You know what? Russell Dickerson talks about this a lot. They watch a lot of Trash Truck.
Trash Truck is like he's the king.
Do you feel like your brain is starting to mush watching all these kid shows?
Oh, dude, it's like you can't even. It's just like it's unless it's Bluey, it's like almost unwatchable.
I'm sure. How's Nicole doing?
Good. She's doing really well. We're really comfortable in our situation now. It's like it's a huge adjustment period to go from no kids to within a year and a half having 2 kids. It's just wild, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's really we're getting into like the fun.
I feel like you've got a handle on everything.
Yeah, it's very manageable now. It's not super overwhelming anymore. Like you just understand what to do, and you just do it, and it's just part of what happens every day.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have to compliment Nicole because she's been doing like merch collabs with all of your stuff, and it has looked so good.
Yeah, she does a great job.
It's amazing.
She does a great job. Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody about this. I'm like, good merch is often overlooked. Like, I feel like people don't spend enough time, but like,
very much so.
Yeah, it all looks good, and I'm sure.
I mean, Alabama, I feel like was the king of merch.
Oh yeah.
Like Dale Earnhardt, merch, big merch guy. I mean, Kiss, big merch guy. I mean, you'd have to quote me on this, or don't quote me on this maybe, but you'd have to do some research on if this is really true or not. But I heard rumor that whenever Kiss was getting into doing merchandising, it was not really a big thing. It wasn't really like it wasn't a thing people had really done, like licensing their name for toys or whatever it may be, any various items. And so Gene Simmons was really adamant that this would be a big deal. And all the other guys were like, no, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. And we think it's a dumb idea and we shouldn't do it. And he was like, well, how about you guys just give me all your revenue share of the merch and I'll do it all and you guys don't even have to mess with it. And so he owns all the merchandising rights for Kiss.
Can you imagine?
And so the other guys were like, this is dumb. No one's ever going to buy like a shirt.
The power of a T-shirt.
No one's going to buy a shirt or like a cup with our name on it. And then they've been like the biggest merch band maybe ever.
So wild.
Of all time.
Well, good for Nicole up in your taking care of your merch.
Yep.
So you got this new song, Back in the Saddle, will be out when this airs. Talk about inspiration, story for this song. This is like first of new stuff that we're hearing from you.
Yeah, it's, the last, album I did was Fathers and Sons album, which was really, kind of an acoustic, broken down thing. Really just for me, to be honest, I mean, it's probably my favorite record I've done. But commercially speaking, it was, it's obviously the least successful because it's kind of a niche thing. I'm very, very, very proud of it. But this is kind of just back to, what I started doing, I guess, is the idea. I mean, that's how Back to In the Saddle kind of came about. We had been throwing around some ideas we got asked to do some songs for a movie recently. This is after the Twisters thing. This is
another movie.
Different film. You asked to do some songs for it. I mean, I could. It's the F1 movie. They asked me to do some songs for the F1
That's amazing.
movie. And we wrote a couple, sent a couple in. They really liked one and ended up recording it. And we really, really thought it was great. And they didn't particularly love the production that we went with. And they were like, hey, well, we want it to sound can it sound more like this? And I was like, it literally can't. This song would be impossible to sound like this. So it just didn't work out. And as we were coming up with some ideas for that, this is one of the ideas that we came up with. Back in the Saddle was one of the ideas that we had tossed around. And so just ended up going with it on our own. It wasn't this particular song. But
just in that same.
But just in that kind of same, as we were coming up for, making kind of groups of ideas for that thing, this one kind of came about. And I was like, well, man, it feels be a cool song to kind of kick things back off with. And it worked out. Turned out really great. I love it. Hopefully people love it. That's all we're going for.
I think everyone's really excited to have a new summer song from you. And also, I don't want to skip over Fathers and Sons because you didn't do press for that and everything.
Sure.
And like you were saying, it wasn't your most successful. But Luke, I can't tell you how many texts I got from my friends who are dads who are like, when you see Luke Combs, tell him thank you for this. Like, very emotional responses from the male population.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely, the work that I'm most proud of, for sure. Obviously, it's really special to me. And came out on Father's Day, and my first son was born on Father's Day. Which was awesome. And that record is so good. I really, really do love it. I love that people connected with it so much, and but it was never going to be, and that was never the goal with it. It wasn't like, well, let's, how do we make it this? Well, I mean, we never singled anything off of it, and really got through. So it's been a big gap since we've really had anything of our own, at radio. Or, I mean, obviously we got the Bailey song is out right now, and we had the Twisters thing that was gave me some life from the movie and stuff. But have yet to have my own project that's commercial leaning in some time. So I'm excited to do that.
What can you say about the next album? Like, are you done, ready to go?
I probably got one recording session left on it, but I've already recorded, I don't know, over 30 songs, I would think. I don't know that there's any plans to do like the big album thing. I just don't know if I'd love that idea. There's nothing against it. I mean, obviously it works really well. But I don't know what it's called yet. I don't have it's hard to know without having everything recorded.
Yeah. So you're kind of like, it's taking shape right now.
Yeah. It's like right now we have the songs we need.
Do you feel like there's a theme or a vibe to everything you have so far?
Not particularly, honestly, yet. That's really presented itself. But all my records have kind of been that way.
Yeah.
I guess this one's for you, maybe not as much. I knew that was going to be the title of that record. That was the easiest one. Obviously, your first album's the easiest to make for sure. But I think it's yet to be figured out. I'm really stoked about everything that we've recorded. I think it's some really, really strong stuff. Obviously, everyone says that about every album they've ever done. So take that with a grain of salt. But it's really just up to it's up to people how good it is. But I'm really excited about it. I'm really stoked to be getting back into it, and being able to I've taken so much time away from touring. I'm not really touring this year outside of festivals and stuff. So just having time at home and just being able to get a routine going and be back in the studio and focus on writing and focus on recording and focus on family, and then next year just jump back on the road and just kind of go full on back into it is exciting. It's exciting.
You and I have talked about this a lot, about like trying to find the balance of being Luke Combs and also being dad. And what I'm hearing from you is I feel like you've kind of found that now.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I definitely have. I don't operate really ever, I feel like, as, the whatever the public version of me is. Because it's not really any different than who I just am anyways. Like the whatever the persona or is just who I am, so it's easy to just be myself, and that's what I always wanted. I didn't want to have to, pretend to be anything that I'm not.
Exactly.
When I'm, doing interviews or at home or, around people I don't know or at the grocery store or whatever, you know what I mean? I live an oddly normal life To be honest, I feel like, and that's the way I want it to be.
Which is, but it's the easiest way, I feel like, to do what you're doing. Yeah. When you posted that you were back in the studio, you posted this video that caused quite a stir because of the many, many garage door openers.
Yes.
I think everyone is wondering what are all of those for?
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation on the garage door front. So there's a gate clicker. So there's two clickers in there that have one button on them. Okay. So my house has one garage. So I have one clicker that's for my house garage. I have one gate. So I have one clicker that's for my gate. I have a third clicker that's for, I have a detached garage.
Okay.
That was like there when we bought our house. And so that one does that. One clicker's for my old gate that we don't even have anymore. So I just left it on there.
You've got a good collection going.
I got a good collection. It's really like I could really probably have two clickers, but I have like six.
Yeah. I just thought that was so funny because the whole time you were talking, I was just like, garage, there's so many garage doors.
Yeah, there's
the comment section on that video was hilarious.
Yeah. When we bought our place, it was just those were just the clickers that were that they had from like the houses from like the 50s or something. So that was just all the clickers they had, and I was just too lazy to like reprogram them or, it's funny. But it's funny. It is funny.
You did say that there was an Easter egg in that video, or there might be. Can you like give any hint?
I said back in the saddle in the video.
You did. I didn't even catch that when I went back and watched it.
I did say that in the video.
Look at you, Taylor Swift, and that's what these.
Man, T Swift and for sure.
You mentioned the new song that you got out with Bailey Zimmerman, Backup Plan. Talk about working with Bailey.
Oh man, he's infectious. He's an infectious guy, man. He really is. He's so excited about his career and music and. It was awesome. It really did. He texted me that song. I was in Australia touring in January, and he texted me that song. And I remember listening to it. We rented a house there for a month, and we would just almost operated like we do here. Just live at home, and then when we got a show that weekend, we just go to the show and play the show, and then come home. So that's what we did in Australia instead of like staying in hotel rooms.
Yes.
And like,
and I'm sure with the kids, like that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, it's just kind of the hotel thing's just kind of a drag. Yeah. For any like beyond like 2-3 days, can just be kind of like, just kind of sterile. And,
yes.
So we rented that house. He texted me. I remember getting the text. I was up in the bedroom of the house, and I listened to it. And I was like, "Man, this is really good." But I wanted to like talk to my team about it. But we're at this house in the middle of nowhere in Australia. My team they were all doing the hotel thing, and they all love to, go out on days off and go to the bar and drink, and I just don't really do any of that stuff. I just can't really do any of that stuff.
Well, not when you have the kids too. Like I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of like avoid putting myself in situations that would make me. I don't know, like the whole famous thing. Like I just don't love doing that too much. Like going out and like being seen and being around.
Is it hard? Like, can you go to the grocery store anymore?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I go all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm like way less famous than people think that I am, for sure. Which is nice.
Truly. Like I always say to people, I'm like, you don't want to be famous. You want to be rich. You don't want to be famous.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I think, there's times, when I go to the same 2 grocery stores all the time, and it's like there's times I go in there and nobody says anything to me, and there's times I take 7 or 8 pictures in there. Yeah, it just depends who's in there.
Mm-hmm. But in Australia, in a place where like people might not expect you, I'm sure they're a lot more likely to stop you.
Oh, definitely, especially when you're in. That's why we kind of stayed out of where we're playing. Mm-hmm. So like we were just stayed out in the country. We just rented a house out in the country.
That'd be awesome.
So nobody knew where we were staying, obviously, and so. Yeah, like when you're in, if you're playing in Sydney and you're in Sydney, you're doing 2 nights at the stadium. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's there, everybody that's anywhere that I want to go is where anybody that's in town for the show wants to go. They want to go eat at the nice restaurants or go walk around the shopping district or whatever and see the opera house or whatever it is, So, you just kind of avoid those situations to not be in them.
How was the bug situation out in the country? Because I feel like we see these videos of like insane spiders.
There was like we ran across a couple uber venomous snakes, but no bites. So that was good.
Yeah,
it's just not as bad. I don't know. It's like And we have that stuff here, you know. I mean,
yes, that's true.
When we got rattlesnakes and copperheads and water moccasins, and I mean, I live on a big piece of land, and I'm out there at some point every day, and I haven't seen one in 5 years.
Well, that's good to know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're there, but it's like it's the same in Australia. It's like, I mean, it's the landmass wise, it's the same size as the U.S. almost.
So crazy. So you mentioned like Bailey sends a song, your team is out, so you don't get the chance to talk to them.
So I don't get the chance to talk to them because I'm just kind of, you know, we're doing our thing at the house and getting ready for shows, and we're in the middle of this tour. You know, we're 24 hours on the other side of the world from home, and so when we got back to the States, I just remembered liking it and be like, yeah, I would like to do this. And it just becomes, you know, as you're living the rest of your life, it's just kind of like, man, I should have at least, I should have texted him back and been like, hey, man, I like this. I'll get back to you. And I didn't.
I was going to say, it's funny to hear your side of the story because he was like, I sent it and it was like a month and I was just sweating it.
It was like, I can imagine. I do really feel bad. I should have just said, hey, I really like this. I just want to talk to my team about it, because it just comes down to like, it's really timing stuff. You know, I guess the story I hadn't told is there's a Carly Pearce, Lee Brice song that I wrote with my buddy Jonathan, and Carly had asked me to sing on it when I sent it. We wrote it with her, and she was like, would you want to do the song with me? And I said, I really love this song. I'd love to do it. I said, but I'm worried that I have a single out right now, and I'm worried that they would be going at the same time, kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the reason that it wouldn't go necessarily. Or I said also I'm insanely busy, and I don't want to not do any. Like, I can't go play Jimmy Kimmel or
I want to show up for you, basically.
Like, I want to show up for you, and I can't say for sure that I'm going to be able to do that. And that song ended up going number one the week after my song went number one.
That's so
it ended up
crazy.
being like the exact time, and it would have been super weird if I was on that song and not. So it worked out perfect. But those are the things I'm thinking of when people ask me to do stuff, and I'm hesitant or say no. I mean, 99% of the stuff people send me is great. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't want to do this. It's like, hey, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it the right way. I want to be available to help it do what it needs to do. I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to not do anything.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. The timing of it's just got to be right. Like,
it has to be right.
Keith Urban about the latest song that he did with Lainey, and like, I mean, he sat on that for years waiting for the timing to be right for both of them, and it's a lot in the timing, and it takes
it really is. And I mean, just to, you know, because you want to do right by them. Yeah, because it's, you know, that's, you know, it's a big song for me. It's a big song for them. So I want to do everything I can to make sure it's done.
I wanted to also tell you congratulations on adding 2 more Diamond songs. I saw that. And I was like,
crazy. Oh, gosh, God. It really is. I can't believe it. You know, it's just been insane. You know, the fans have been there for me for sure. They have definitely been there for me. So that's real awesome.
I feel like every other week I'm getting an email or a press release from your team of like this next accolade or thing that you've done, and it's incredible. I'm wondering though for you, like, because I feel like a lot of these you probably don't even know that they're coming. Like, it's like, oh my God, we broke that record.
No, you don't really. Yeah, they try to surprise you with that stuff.
Is there anything that you, like another milestone that you've got your sights on that you're like, oh, I can't wait until we hit that or till we do this or?
Gosh, I've never been a super milestone guy. I guess I just never expected to get this far, to be honest. So there was never like, man, I'm going to have this and this and this. You know, being the biggest guy or the biggest selling thing is like never been something I worry about, you know. I just feel like all you can do is kind of like lose mentally if you're doing that, because that stuff doesn't last forever, right? There's always going to be the next guy that sells more, the next guy that does bigger shows or more shows or whatever it is. So I just try to, I really try to just be happy with, you know, everything that we've done. And I mean, obviously those things are really cool for me, for my team, for the guys that I write with. You know, and again, no one but the fans to thank for those. So I'm very, very appreciative of them, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a huge deal, but it's never been something I've like locked in on and say, hey, I'd love to do this or really want to do that, you know. I mean, I love, you know, Win an Entertainer was awesome.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, there's no line that's sweet, you know. Would love to be able to do that again one day, but if not, that'd be fine too.
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, when I was driving over here, I was thinking about something I hadn't thought about in a long time. When I was working at the radio station in New York, I'll never forget this. You had landed. We were giving away tickets to like a Jason Aldean concert or meet and greets that night. And you were calling the radio station. And I kept hanging up on you trying to get to caller 94. And I remember eventually like getting a hold of you. And I was just thinking about like, I think Hurricane was like just out, like probably cracking like top 25. Things were getting ready to take off for you. And it's just so wild to think like what has happened in that short amount of time.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you really do go from like, you can go from just a fan yourself to like in the business so quickly.
Yeah.
It's really is crazy, you know. And I mean, at the end of the day, we're all fans, you know, and I think, you know, sometimes as artists, you know, we can have a tendency to forget that and lose sight of that, or go, well, I'm too important to do this thing, or I'm not going to do that thing. And, you know, I try to remind myself as much as possible, you know, what would my answer to this question have been 10 years ago?
Yeah.
You know, and obviously circumstances change and things are different than they were 10 years ago. But still, sometimes when I'm like, gosh, you know, if I roll my eyes at something, I'm like, wait a second, what are we talking about here? Like, this is insane. It would be insane to say no to this thing, you know. But it's crazy. It really is. And I think, you know, I think any new artists or any artists that do it, you know, I just encourage them to think about, you know, yourself when you started and
keeping 2 feet on the ground.
Yeah, and just be grateful for where you are and everything you've accomplished, and you know, people that have helped you along the way. I mean, there's so many people that, you know, took chances on me when they didn't have to, and I mean, there's plenty of people that didn't too, you know. So you just, all you can do is be thankful and just, I don't know, just trying to remain grounded, I think is real important, you know. And that's what I've tried to do.
Yeah. You know? And I think you've been really successful at it. And I know we have to wrap up, but I just want to say thank you for the time today.
Oh, absolutely.
New song sounds great from everything I've heard so far. It's so good to see you. I'm still like so excited about hearing the rest of this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the time today.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, it's Katie. Thank you for watching. See more interviews, performances, and more of your favorite artists by subscribing and downloading the free Audacy app.